Hi, I am Joe, a very realistic AI newscaster. And here's some news. Let's begin with something arguably positive. The Ukrainian police announced they had arrested 3 humans who had been selling millions of compromised accounts. The criminals mostly dealt in emails and Instagram accounts and amassed over 100 million of them over the course of just 1 year. The accounts were then sold off to other criminals for reuse in all kinds of scams. According to the police, the crooks mostly used brute force to breach their victims. This happens because humans have very limited brain capacity and choose to use passwords that reflect what they consider to be their deep and complex personalities. Such passwords include words like love, secret, sex, and God. Please don't do that. In other news, a team of researchers claims they have discovered a database with hundreds of millions of credentials. This includes over 80 million names, 100 million emails, and 20 million passwords, most of them kept in plain text without any kind of encoding. The researchers did not say how many of those passwords relate to quirks humans call emotions, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of that nonsense in there. Even worse than that, there are nearly 30 million lines of banking information in the database. All of that belonged to several hundreds of companies. Props to the researchers who went on to email every single one of them. And guess what? Only a quarter of the companies took any action, and only 1% thanked the researchers. Meanwhile, some began mocking them for trying to provide help. I bet admins who did that also had their passwords set as God. That's what you get for putting humans in charge of your cybersecurity. Moving on, the White House recently sent a long and wordy letter to all the governors of American towns, warning them about continuing attacks on critical infrastructure, specifically the water installations. There's nothing particularly new in the letter. It is just a predictable and a bit overdue reaction to Iranians hacking several water plants a few months back. The letter does not mention that at least one of the plants was hacked because its system's password was 1111, which is an even better reflection of the complexity of the mind of an average administrator. Let's talk about actual cybercrime for a change. A report just came out describing a new clever DoS technique which self-perpetuates and does not really need things like botnets and stressors. The attack targets application layer protocols and pairs 2 of their servers together, forcing them to send messages indefinitely. What happens then is a sort of a feedback loop. The poor servers communicate with each other at increasing frequency and eventually jam, which is also known as the effect of debating YouTubers. According to researchers, around 300,000 internet hosts worldwide are vulnerable to this sort of attack, which is a lot. Thankfully, so far this thing remains purely theoretical and hasn't been tried beyond a lab. But knowing how humans work, there are probably around 1,000 IPTs who are currently working on replicating it. And if your trust in humanity is still high enough, there's this. Just a few days ago, there was a massive glitch in Ethiopia's banking system. It allowed people to withdraw unlimited amounts of money, which went pretty much as expected. In just a couple of hours, over $40 million were withdrawn, never to be seen again. And then the bank pleaded with the citizens to return the cash voluntarily, which also went pretty much as expected. The country is still reeling from this event, and some more expected developments might come in the nearest future, so stay tuned. And since your brain needs some stimulation while you wait, please proceed through following links to consume some more of my content. At least that's going to be a bit more productive than trying to come up with an original 3-symbol password. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.